and welcome to my Four Boys and an NL Girl podcast. Thanks so much for joining me. A special welcome to anybody who's new, who hasn't watched my podcast before. Thanks for trying me out and welcome. And a huge thank you for anybody who's returning. I really appreciate you coming back and visiting me and my podcast. You can probably hear my cat at the cat scratcher right now. That is Bella. Angel is wandering around as well. This is a podcast about knitting, crocheting, rug hooking, sewing, quilting, basically making all the things. I'm a very creative person and I make a variety of different things. And this morning, the first thing I'm going to show you is what I'm wearing. So this morning I have on, I'll stand up, though I know you can't see, you won't be able to see the very bottom. What I'm wearing underneath is called a PATRICIA tunic. It is a pattern by Sis and Boom. Very easy sewing. I made this last year or the year before, so it's been around for a while. It's worn really well. It has slits up the side to make it comfortable, and it comes down to about mid-thigh length. So it's a nice outfit, or it's a nice tunic top to wear with leggings, or you can wear it over a bikini or your bathing suit or something like that. The other thing that I'm wearing, this is also something I've made a couple of years ago. It's called the CALBUCO cardigan, I think is how you pronounce it. And it is by ALLISON BLEVINS. You can find it at tangle.com, and I'll put the information on the bottom of the screen so that you can access it. It's a lovely cardigan. There's a little, I'll take it off and show it to you. There's a little bit of a garter stitch along the bottom of the vest. And this is yarn I bought at one of my local yarn stores, Cast On, Cast Off. And I was speaking to Katie this morning and she told me what kind of yarn it was, and now I can't for the life of me remember. But it's a gorgeous soft yarn. I suspect it has some alpaca in it. And I think it's probably about a DK weight, but it's really fine fabric and very delicate, so this particular item has to be treated with quite a bit of care. It's gorgeous and soft. That was a really fun knit. It was really quick and I really enjoyed knitting it. So if you're looking for a sweater vest of a really nice a single skein or a couple skeins of yarn that you have, I highly recommend that cardigan. It was really fun. The next thing I'm going to show you is a finished object. Yay! I have a finished object, but it's not knitting today. My finished object is rug hooking. And I showed this to you a couple of episodes ago. This is my checkerboard rug. So here's the checkerboard or chessboard in the middle. And then I'll show you. Here's the finished clothesline with the clothes on the line waving in the breeze. And the last time I showed you, this end wasn't finished at all. So the hit or miss pattern is finished now, and the houses are finished, the sky, the sea, and the hit or miss pattern, which is the multicolored blocks on the top and bottom. That hit or miss pattern is finished as well. I rolled up the edges of the burlap and just did a simple whip stitch around the edge. So that's how it's finished. And this piece, it's either going to fit on my dining room table as a runner part of the time, and then part of the time it'll be hung on the wall when the kids aren't using it to play with. So they're thrilled that this is finished, and I'm thrilled that it's finished. I've been working on this on and off for about 1.5 years, and now it's time to add something new to my rug hooking frame, and that's going to be a 2-foot by 3-foot rug for my husband. It's going to go he's requested one to go at the side of the bed so that his feet don't get cold when he gets out of bed in the morning. So that's something that I'm going to be working on next. And when I get the pattern drawn on, I think I'm going to be hooking that one on burlap. No, I think I'm hooking that one on linen. I have a piece of linen, which I haven't used before for rug hooking. So when I get the pattern drawn on and get it started, I will show you that. The next thing that I want to talk about this morning is a work in progress. I'm not going to show you the quick short sleeved quick knitted cardigan that I have been working on because I haven't touched it at all this week. I spent most of my time working on whip stitching around the edge of my rug to get that finished. So my work in project today is in the little project bag that I made, and it is one of my socks. So this is my second sock, knit in a combination of Lorna's Lace sock yarn here at the bottom, and Richard yarn by Richard DeVries here at the top. It's Melon Opal is the name of the colorway. And then I have my little stitch marker. Usually I keep this on as a zipper pull, but I decided to use it as a progress keeper from Firefly Fibers. And I'll put that information on the screen as well. So I've managed to knit, 3 inches this week, which is pretty good for me because I'm not very quick when it comes to knitting socks. I've just recently picked up 2 more sets of DPNs to start. So once I'm finished that sock, I'm going to start on a pair of socks for my husband, and I'm going to knit them on DPNs but 2 at a time. So I'll do 5 or 6 rows on one sock and then 5 or 6 rows on the other sock so that they can both be finished at about the same time. That's a suggestion I had from a friend of mine in British Columbia, and I'm going to try her method and see if I can get 2 socks at the same time. So I'm really excited about that, because having 2 socks done at the same time is thrilling, because then I don't get second sock syndrome, which I suffer from on a regular basis. The other thing that I have here to show you is I've picked up out of my stash. I talked last week about I was going to knit my husband for Christmas a hat called the Antler Hat by Tin Can Knits. So I've just grabbed from my stash some Cascade 220. This is gray. I'm not sure if it's got just color number 8401. Cascade yarns. It is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and I think most people know what Cascade 220 is. It's a gorgeous kind of tonal gray color that I think will look really nice on them and make a really nice toque. I still need to cast on for the Drake cowl that I talked about last week. My friend and I are actually going to be going out to central Newfoundland, the island of central Newfoundland this weekend for a little bit of a retreat. We're leaving our children and husbands behind and we're going on a little bit of a road trip. We're going to be staying at my parents' lovely house. So in my next podcast, I'll have some footage of around Gander Bay, which is in central Newfoundland, Notre Dame Bay. And that'll also show a picture of it's my great-great-grandfather's house that my parents have refurbished and renovated and are now living in it. And they've done just a gorgeous job. So I'll have a little bit of footage about the exterior for sure and maybe some of the interior of that house to show on my next podcast. On our trip, we're planning on stopping in some fabric stores, and likely I'll be picking up a few things that I'll have to show off on my next podcast. So I'm looking forward to that. But of course, going on a road trip means there's going to be some time to cross stitch and to knit. So I'm hoping I can get some progress. Hopefully I can get that sock finished and maybe get the Drake cowl that I mentioned last week, get that on the needles and started as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. This is going to be a really short and sweet podcast today. My mother is visiting. My husband is actually home at the moment. So I'm taping this podcast session when I have people in the house, which is a little bit unusual. And I'm trying to get it finished before my children get home this afternoon. So the last thing I'm going to talk about for today is the contest. So the 100 subscriber contest that I mentioned last week, I now have over 100 subscribers, and thanks so much for those of you who have enjoyed the podcast enough to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And as a thank you to everyone, I'm going to be hosting a contest, and I wanted to give you the details. I will post hopefully a picture somewhere around here of what the prizes are going to be, and I may be adding a little bit to the prizes because of my road trip. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is I picked up some Fleece Artist fingering weight. So Fleece Artist is a yarn dyer out of Nova Scotia. I couldn't find any indie dyers in Newfoundland and Labrador, so if I do, or if you know of any, please let me know and I'll be certain to look them up and have another giveaway at some point and use their yarn. This is their Cottage Sock Space. It's 80% Merino Superwash and 20% nylon. So this is the colorway that I'm going to have for the giveaway. It is called Hibiscus. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous purples, pinks, teals, and orange, burnt orange as well for the autumn. I thought that was a beautiful, and then these can become socks or a lovely shawl. It's certainly soft enough to be a shawl. I also have a couple more things, and likely will have a couple more things to add to this as I go on my road trip and pick up things from around the province. I have this little pottery button that's going to go in the giveaway package. A little, I should have taken this out of the package, just a small sheepy measuring tape. So those are a couple more things that are going to be going in that giveaway package. So how I'm going to run it is I'm going to use the public subscriber list on YouTube. So if you have subscribed but your account is private, I'm not going to be able to access that information for the contest. So you either need to change it to public or not. Certainly I'm not pressuring you to do so. But if you are interested in entering the contest, I need to have some way of contacting you. So your YouTube account needs to be public. Or I'm also going to be pulling from my followers on Instagram. So if you haven't, there are a couple ways of entering the contest. If you're a subscriber on YouTube, if you are a follower on Instagram, those are two ways you can, that would be two entries in the giveaway. And then as well, I'm asking on Instagram, once I have posted a picture of the prize package, if you could repost that using the repost app that you can gain access to through Instagram. And then that would be great. A great way for me to get some more viewers for the podcast, and a great way for you to share another giveaway with your friends and family so that they have the opportunity to earn some yarn as well. So essentially to be entered in the contest, you need to be a subscriber on on YouTube, a follower or a follower on Instagram, and I'm also asking that you repost the giveaway picture that I'm going to post this week. The deadline for I will be drawing using random number generator, I will be drawing for the contest on the 26th of October, so the day before my podcast, in a couple of weeks, because I figured that gave me enough time to collect some cute items for the podcast giveaway, and for you to have time to repost and to subscribe and to become a follower on my Instagram account. And I'll have all that information as to how to contact me on the screen as well. So that's it for me today. I hope that you've enjoyed the podcast. Like I mentioned, short and sweet, but I hope to have some more finished objects to show you next week. And I hope that this week you get the opportunity to make as many things as you have time for. Take care. Bye-bye.